All right. So I wanted to. I was kind of done with the Diddy story, but I wanted to highlight this. Diddy has been forced out of his own company. He's no longer the CEO as of today. Okay, but a lot has been happening. A lot has been happening since the last time we covered it. And the whole point of me bringing this up, I just want you to be aware of the limitations of uh, of any one human being. If you're just one human being, no matter how rich you are, no matter how wealthy you are, right? If we're talking about life, you just, you know, you can disappear overnight, right? And if we're talking about finances, all it takes is the wrong move or the wrong story from the 90s to catch up with you from a couple of decades ago. That's all it takes, you know. Yeah. So it's getting worse and getting worse and worse and worse for him. Very, very fast. Okay. And I thought we should cover this really quickly today because again, one of the major things that we cover here is ego, pride, manage your pride. Pride is something that I love dearly. Okay, pride is something that I love to study. Pride, I like pride. I like pride more than I like humility. Let me even tell you that. Yes, I do because listen, anything that's readily available, human beings will take it for granted. If you act like a wussy, people will treat you like a wussy. Human beings are mad. They think you're dumb, they think you're slow, they think they can take advantage of you. If they see a loophole, they will come in there and they will claim that they won't try to play fair. Yeah. And by the way, they might find a good judge that will take their side, claiming that they're the one playing fair. Right? So it is what it is, you know. But yeah, so Diddy is going through it right now. See the spiral effect of everything that's happening to him right now is greater than what we know already. Just think about the fact that he has a human brain in his head. Right? Just think about that. Speaking of peace of mind, do you think this man have peace of mind? I think we talked about that the first time we covered it, right? Do you think he has peace of mind right now? It's impossible. Okay, it's impossible. All right. So, just about 6 hours ago, this is according to Variety.com. Hold on one second before I get into that. Let me see. D-Love says, very good. His karma is coming. Diddy go collect. I can't disagree with that. I can't disagree with that. Sadly, karma is here. Diddy is a story that keeps on giving. Yeah, because he's such a figure that's much bigger than life. And when you're a figure that's bigger than life, you have to do everything in your power to protect yourself, against your own bad behavior, because we all have bad behavior, but he has a lot more exposure because of this connection to all those things. And when you accomplish and when you achieve a lot in life, the more you have to realize that much is required of you. To whom much is given, much is required, right? The higher you go, the harder you can fall, right? So people that are at ground zero, they can't fall that far. What's the worst that can happen, right? But yet we have an innate need to accomplish. We want to feel significant. We want to achieve big things in life, right? That's what we want, right? We want growth. Remember? We want growth, right? So we don't want to say at ground zero, but a lot of people now forget. Once they have a little bit of achievement, even a little bit, not Diddy even level, they start to feel special. They start to feel like they're bigger than life. And it's not necessarily an intentional thing. It's just natural order of things. So it's easier for you to have unmanaged pride, ego, and inflated sense of self when you're achieving. It's much easier for you to feel that way than to actually be humble. Be humble is a difficult thing, and sometimes it's very tricky. Like for example, somebody said to me, I think we're gonna have him as a guest. He said, me, I don't mind my driver to come and sit on the table and have dinner with me. I was like, It's not that simple. It's not that simple. Stop the cap. Again, all these simple solutions.
Different from bad.
It's not that simple. That same driver will show you shaggy.
Sorry, yo.
We show you shaggy. So there is it's a delicate dance. But when you get to a stage where you are a billionaire, you can't go wrong by waking up every day and applying humility. You can't go wrong because you already have natural, like people are bowing to you all the time. People are, into you all the time. When I watched a conversation that somebody had with 50 Cent. I'm like, this guy has figured something out that is very rare for rich people to figure out. A 50 Cent is very rare. It's very rare. Like, listen, 50 Cent does not represent humility. That's not what I'm saying. And that's the point I am making here. So it's a very delicate dance that we need to be aware of. It's just, again, just remember that we're not talking about you as an individual. We're just talking about how the brain functions, okay? It only makes sense that if you keep achieving, your brain, I don't know if it's your mind, your heart, or whatever. People will try to divide that too. I don't know. But a part of your psyche will tell you that it's always going to be that way. What can possibly go wrong? And now you have to push back against that everything can freaking go wrong. Okay? You have to now tell yourself that everything will go wrong. Okay? Now, the thing is this, right? I'm looking at 50 Cent and not just looking at him. I'm listening to some of the things he says, right? He wrote a whole book called The 50th Law as a follow-up to Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power, right? He did the whole power series, right? If you watch series with the mind of not right and wrong, you will see what I'm talking about in some of the storylines in the Star series Power, right? It's not as simple as humble yourself or be prideful. No, it's not that simple. There's a game here that you need to learn how to play, okay? But when you get to certain parts of life, you have to know that you have to push harder against one side, okay? There's too many variables involved in it, right? But we're talking about just two sides right now of this coin, right? Humility, pride, right? When you have bad behavior, if you have what they call vice, right? Either it's smoking, either it's women, either it's Bola, either it's right? A vice, alcohol, right? When you have it, when you have the power to have it, right? The reality is that you have to fall flat on your face, discombobulated. You have to hit rock bottom at some level to be able to, like, okay, all right, I might end up destroying myself with this thing. Let me get some help, right? And you will notice that anybody that seems like they figure it out, there's a frame of reference. They've gone through something. So, in fact, I'm due to read 50th Law, number 50th Law of whatever, with 50 Cent and Robert Greene. I want to read that book because there's probably a backstory. There is always a backstory that makes him to come off as he's figured something out when it comes to power dynamics, right? I'm being able to articulate it very well too, as well, in my opinion. But yeah, I digress. He probably can't sleep at night. No, he won't be able to sleep at night because he still has a human brain in his head. He can't. Okay, he's probably got back on all his vices, like all the drugs, depression, all that kind of stuff. Probably kicked back in worse. That's probably what's going on right now. Not to say it is not hard, MOP. It depends on your upbringing. Anything that's worthwhile in life is hard. It's a reality. Anything that's worthwhile. If it's not hard, it's probably not worth it. It's probably not worth even us having a conversation around it. Anything that's worthwhile in life there's a cost to pay for it. We might not see it though. We might not see it. It might not be obvious to us like that. My dad would drive his driver on long trips so the guy can take a nap. All right, it's a context to that. He just said so the guy can take a nap. He doesn't want to die, right? I think your dad passed, right? Yeah, so he didn't want to die. Like if he's sleepy, yeah, that makes sense, right? There's context to that, okay? When you start adding certain context to it, all the rules are discombobulated. Remember, I always tell you, don't turn anything I say into religion. Our security man in Nigeria, his daughter was our baby, sleeps in my bed. I bathe her, feed her, she eats her. Yeah, you're simplifying it. You're simplifying it, not to. You're simplifying it. You simplify what I said. We'll continue the conversation at another time. But I think it's a big topic that we should tackle. I think it's a very important topic.
You get it? Okay. If you don't get it, forget about it. All right.
Not to. You know I love you. All right. So, So this story, this caption here, 50 Cent says he wants to put his coins in and buy Revolt from Diddy, following allegedly stepping down. Okay. So now he wants to buy. 50 Cent said, "I'll buy that from you, Playboy." After he stepped down, for the low, because Cadillac and AT&T gonna pull out. Cadillac and AT&T are going. They have money. They have invested money in this. They're gonna pull out. Yeah, it's going to be a snowball effect. Remember, he settled. I think he settled too quickly. I didn't know that up front. In hindsight, he settled too quickly. It's too much at stake. All right, and considering the new law in New York, the Survival Act thing in New York City, he settled too soon. He should have let it simmer a little bit. And the settling too quick, right? Timing is also part of power play. The timing was too quick. Just like, you're trying to cover it so that everything doesn't get destroyed. And you don't always get it right. Understanding power is to know that you don't always get it right. But being able to acknowledge that, I missed that one, right? Being able to acknowledge that is a big part of it, right? Like, I missed that one. And the idea with power is not that you win all the time. It's actually that you actually lose more often than you win. But when you win big. Where you win, it is very hard to argue against the winnership. That's how power works. But losers always trying to win at all times, and which is why they keep losing, which is why ultimately they are losers. Okay? Winners always try to take everything and win at every time. Losers always try to win every time. But winners are always like, I'm looking for that big win. And I understand that the journey to get to that big win, yes, a few of them is going to be lose failure. Big winning in life that it looks like to you is always a function of a lot of losses. And this is an absolute ideology. It's the way it works across the board. There's nobody that you see right now that looks like it's overnight success that it was. There was something that went into that you're not privy to. Okay? He said, "I'll give you a few dollars for it now. Sell it to me. Then we can be friends. I'm serious. Call my phone." Yeah, it's trolling him. Petty at another level entirely. So he did step aside. He said a temporary move. No, he's going to lose everything. Sadly. He's going to lose everything. It doesn't look good. Okay. It's just too much. It's too much at stake. Okay, and we're not talking about him in particular. Remember, I said there's multiple 6 and 7 figures income attached to this. Those people don't want to lose that. They would detach from him. All his partnership they're going to be gone because they don't want to associate with that. Okay, because people will be your mates. At the end of the day, people have the power. When you're arguing against the people, you better know what you're doing. Because sometimes you have to do that, but you better know what you're doing. And oftentimes people that do that, they don't know what they're doing. They're just yarning dust from their emotions. Diddy isn't about to let issues in his personal life take down the successes in his professional life, making the difficult decision to temporarily step aside from his role as chairman at Revolt. That's just the beginning. Sources with direct knowledge tell TMZ Diddy decided last week he'd make the temporary move. We're told his goal in making the decision was to not allow the accusations he's facing distract from Revolt's mission of success. Yeah. Even the people that are just small partners, places like Earn Your Leisure, people like even Breakfast Club, all those people, they will have to now manage the stories around Diddy. That is additional layer of difficulty for their life. Right? And if it comes down to a matter of survival for them, you know what they will do? They will throw him right under that bus. Right under the bus. Yeah, let me see. Not say, what do you mean simplify? My brother, it's a lifestyle. Yeah, the lifestyle doesn't fall out of the skies. That's the point. Okay. Usually people have gone through something that made them arrive there. It's not, the point is that it becomes easier with time, but it's not something that you start off easier with. Okay. This is what I grew up with. If your wife calls me now and says she needs help with the kids, I will drive to. That's anecdotal now, not to. I think he needed to settle quickly. If not, things for don't spoil past this one. Yeah, I know, but it's still spoiling. That's what they thought they were doing. That's why I was like, of course. It was a no-brainer. We said it was a no-brainer, right? But it's too big. The issues are too big, right? They are both intertwined, unfortunately, personal and professional life. Yeah, that's when I laugh at people say it's not personal, it's business. Like, maybe it's not worth it. If it's worth it enough, it's the same thing. It's people's brand. It's the same thing, you know. So it's a very, very delicate thing. It's tricky, but once you've gone through a few of this, if he makes it through this, back to what Natu was saying, if he makes it through this one, right? If another crisis like this shows up in his life again in the future, it will be a lot more easier to manage, because the truth is that there are patterns. But he's never seen this before, right? He's never seen this before. Now, he's seen his behavior, right? A lot of people got away with these behaviors. There are stories around Clive Davis, even Jamie Foxx self-gone collect. Even Jamie Foxx that just came out of sickness, even he collect. Right? There's another person, a guy called Aaron Hall. Aaron Hall from the R&Bs in the 90s, but he has nothing. Who cares? Who is partnering with that one? It's like a R. Kelly wannabe back in the 90s who still has some hit singles out there. Nobody cares. Right? Remember I said, if you're at ground zero already, you can't fall that hard. But Diddy is like $1 billion worth. In my opinion, multiple billions of dollars of money will be lost. Not his personal money, but just in general, in productivity in general, because of this story. Because a lot of people now have to pivot and they're distracted now because they don't know how Diddy's personal choices in the past is going to affect them. Yeah. So according to Variety.com says, in the wake of 3 lawsuits alleging sexual assault, Sean Diddy Combs has temporarily stepped aside as chairman of Revolt, the music-oriented television network he co-founded in 2013. Representatives for Combs confirmed the news to Variety. A statement posted, Sean Combs has stepped down from this position as chairman of Revolt, while Mr. Combs has previously had no operational or day-to-day role in the business. The decision helps to ensure that Revolt remains steadfast. No, he was busy because he had power. The truth is that he had a lot of power. He had a lot of power. So the stories keeps coming out, but is that the right move at this point? Yeah, that's the right move. It's still the right move in the right direction. We don't know if it's enough to help. That's the point. We don't know if that move is enough to help right now at this point in time. I think his brand is his livelihood and many other people's livelihood, right? And many other people's livelihood. He became this powerhouse because many other people were benefiting from this. That's why. Yes, Aaron Hall from Guy. Exactly, the group Guy, right? I like Aaron Hall, but recent words on the street was that he was so ruthless to women behind the scenes. Didn't know that. No. Majority of them from in that era were doing what P. Diddy, if they have enough power, they were doing what P. Diddy and R. Kelly, they were doing exactly that. Even the Oyinbo ones, like Clive Davis and stuff like that, allegedly. Okay? They were, because they could get away with it, like NDAs, no social media. But again, with this new law that New York put in place right now, a lot of them are coming out of the woodwork. A lot of these women are coming to speak out and say, hey, let me just put this out there. So another woman, because only God knows how many women have been hurt in the same way in all that time. Maybe we can put a stop to it right now. And not just that, have some repercussions, some consequences for such behavior. And that you never know where. So we have social media today. 20 years from now, we don't know what we're going to have. We don't know that once you smell bad behavior right now, they will catch you. You will be put in jail immediately. I'm just kidding. The point is that we don't know how fast consequences will be dished out 20 years from now. So it's probably a good idea to do as much as possible. Do your best to do the right thing right now. Don't do something that will hurt other human beings, right? So it's probably better to just do that right now, at this point in time. So you said simplify, but you used the word kind. I wasn't talking about kind. I was talking about power play, not to. You just used kind, but you argued that you weren't simplifying before. I was talking about power. Now you're talking about kind. Now you're talking about kind, but I thought you said you weren't simplifying it. Right? I grew up. I'll tell you this. I'll end with this. Okay, I'll end this particular story. You saw my father here when he came here. Right? I have these parents that walk literally a straight line. A straight line. You're talking about humility, like all day long. You're talking about not just that, people actually enjoy that all day long, right? They walk this straight line. You're talking about drivers enjoying what they really should not be touching all day long, right? All day long. You're talking about gate mans. I remember a gate man right now. Okay, this guy will come back drunk in the middle of the night. Okay, had access to everything. Come back drunk. Not only will he come back drunk, but he will come right to my father's window and start raining curses. My father is the nicest thing ever to him. He did that repeatedly for years. Right? My father is just of the opinion that it's God that's protecting him. We just want somebody to be at the gate. And then because of this behavior, it's an alcoholic, and he has a family, all this. So these are all the things, this kindness thing of you think you just put into it, right? My father was being kind, right? And he would do that when he wakes up on the following day. Esa, the guy is this short. It's like the size of this thing, right? Esa, and the guy would, he would clean the car, he would clean everything, would do everything, right? But there's this little things that, the not so nice bosses will be like, are you mad? I beg, go put him somewhere, go put this guy somewhere, he can't work by the gate. But my father for years just let him be like, that's the nature of the kind of home I came from too. Sounds like very similar to yours, right? Bro. Not you, bro, but my G, Natu. Natu, let me tell you right now, that kind of guy is not going to be my gate man. You can call me unkind. You can call me, well, don't take food away from this guy's plates. You call me all you want, okay? That's why I keep telling you, these things are not right and wrong. It's competence. It's a matter of competence, okay? And with all due respect to my parents, that's a matter of competence on their part in terms of putting people in the roles where they're fit. There are ways to use that kind of guy without making him a gate man. Right? It's not simple. It's not simple. Right? So if we're talking about kind, you can be raised kind and just be kind. That's not what I was talking about at all. I'm talking about allowing people of a certain types of bracket into a world where they don't even understand what to do with that. I'm talking about giving a person that has never made $1 million $1 million and telling them to go and start a business. Oma squander, Oma destroy. That money will not survive. That money will be taken from them. Because why? Not to? Because they haven't gone through. They haven't been tested. They can't sustain that. They can't sustain that. Now, I have the $1 million. I do want to give this person. I want to be nice. I want to be kind. And I should. No, I have to think beyond that. This person's mindset cannot hold $1 million. They don't know what to do with that. There are thieves. They will take it from them. And it's going to be a blind spot. They won't steal it from them in cash because it's not cash. They will actually use their own hands to spend it and squander it. And we won't be able to sue anybody for that. So there are certain people that if they show up a certain way in life, you can be nice to them, you can be kind to them, but be aware that their mindset needs to be able to handle that. Okay, so if a person, I'm not talking about their child or anything, I'm not talking about any specifics, just in general, right? If a person is a gate man, there's a reason why they're a gate man. It's not your fault. It's not your fault that they're a gate man. The best you can do them is give them a livelihood around what their brain, what their reality can handle. That's part of power play. There's kindness there, but that kindness needs to be congruent with the reality of the person you're trying to be kind to. It needs to actually take effect. If it's taking effect, if it's working, beautiful. If it's not working, there's a reason. It's not because you're not kind. It's because the person probably can't handle the level of kindness you're bringing to them. So no, if a person is a gate man, no hard feelings with gate man. It's the same conversation about should a person, she's a lady. We started this conversation like this, right? A lady who is making $125,000 a year. Should she, in the spirit of her kindness, go and get with a man who is making $60,000 a year? She can. There's nothing wrong with that. She can do it in the kindness of her heart, sure. But she needs to understand that just because she's kind, it doesn't mean she will generate good results. She better know what she's doing, because there's a lot more to it than just being kind. I hope I landed the point at that point, okay? And if that didn't work, not to.
You get it? Okay. If you don't get it, forget about it.
Right.
Not to say no hard feelings. No, absolutely not. Not taken. You know. But let's move on to what time is it? Okay, let's move on to another story really quickly. We'll be right back. Yeah.
Beautiful girl, sparkling eyes, killing thing. I find a beautiful girl. It's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.